because
Welcome to another edition of Rita's Video Blog. I'm Rita. I'm wearing a top that I've never worn out in public or on video. This is 17 years old.
And I am not human.
Yes, you are. Okay, Aaron. So, today
hello Earthlings.
Come on, Aaron. You are not Marvin the Martian. So, I want to tell you... I want to tell you a story. I'm not going into details of names or cities, except for a couple.
Oh, we will.
We're not talking about the doctors or the city I went to.
Oh, well, I wanted to talk about the crazy homeless people that were carrying weapons through the street. And the police were just looking at them like, that's cool. And it's like, there's this guy with a baseball bat with nails sticking out of it, and he walked right past the cop, holding it over his shoulder like he's going up to the plate. I'm Casey at the plate. I mean, seriously, a baseball bat with nails in it. Then we saw a guy walking who had a machete on him. A machete! A big-ass knife like that long. And he's just walking down the street. Excuse me? Then there was this crazy lady who just comes up to our table and stares at us like this creepy, weird person. And Rita's cousin's girlfriend says, "Can I help you?" She just stands and stares. Her cousin says, "Can I help you?" She just stands and stares.
I'm like...
Then two cops on foot come around the corner and they're like, "Ma'am, can we help you?" And she's like, "No, I'm going." It's like, what the hell was that about? And then as soon as we got off the train, this woman basically, she's like, "My dog had surgery on his eye. He was just like that dog. But when I took his collar off, the cone, he ran away and I never saw him again." And she's like, "How long have you had your dog?" I said, "Oh, about 7 years." And she's like, "Oh, that's when my dog ran away. You have my dog and his new eye." I'm like, yeah, do you happen to know where I'm from and have lived? And I've never been to this city before. Oh, that was kind of strange. Then I gave some cigars to her cousin, and she's like, "I want one of those, too, for when I go see Bette Midler." It's like, okay, somebody needs a little mental help. So...
Anyway, so we get ready to go on our appointment. I take 2 bubble baths that day on Wednesday. Finally got on the train, and there was these yappers in the back that wouldn't shut up until around 11:30. We get in at 1:30.
We got on a train, and it was pretty much quiet for the most part, for the first leg of the journey, and we were actually able to sleep if we wanted to on that first leg of the journey. There was really no problem there. There was a girl behind us who was yap, 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 but we weren't really trying to nap yet. I mean, we kind of sort of did, but didn't. Anyways, I played a game for a while. She asked me some questions about the game. I ended up street passing with her on DS. Anyways, she waddles off, and everybody waddles off, and we're in Spokane. Spokane seemed to be good for a while, and we were there 2 hours, had a nice enjoyable cigar. Probably would have hated it if we were inside all that time. We were only inside like an hour. Anyways,
and the guy yells at us in Spokane to go downstairs.
Go down to this little Asian guy. He's like, "You're going to have to go put those out and go downstairs and register downstairs for your tickets, and then you can come back up here and you can smoke those." And it's like, okay, well, we're going to finish these up first. So we finished those up, and then we went inside, and the guy's like, "You already have tickets. You don't need tickets. What the hell is wrong with them? So just go sit down over there and wait until they let you back upstairs." "Oh, you can't go up yet, because now that you're in here, you can't go back up there. You have to go up there when they call you." So we ended up sitting around for like an hour, big whoop-de-doo. So, anyways, we get on the train where we're going. And there's it's like 2 in the morning, and these old ladies are talking with each other. 2 in the morning. They wouldn't shut up, and we kind of drifted off, and when we woke up, they were still gabbing, and it's like as soon as the sun came up, gab, 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 gab. It's like, can't anybody sleep at night? Jeez, anyways, we got into the station we were going to in the morning, and everything seemed to be pretty good. And
And I was sitting here and we got off. We had the trouble, like Aaron said. And I saw my cousin walk in with this girl. And I'm like, is that my cousin? And I was praying I'd meet his girl, Tara. She seemed really cool from what everything I've heard. Anyways, they're going in and I said, I'm outside sitting on a bench. He's like, okay. My girl's going to the bathroom. Well, they came out and I hugged him. I was almost in tears. I mean, because I haven't seen him in 26 years. Then, all this crap happened in between, about the lady asking for Moppy and everything else. I was like, no. So finally
we went to this donut shop. I swear, most insanity I've ever seen over a freaking donut. The line was literally 2 blocks long. It probably had close to 1,000 people in the line to go to this donut shop. Seriously, if you need a donut that bad, put more donut shops in your town. Then we went to this nice little pub and was supposed to meet up with a friend. Friend didn't show up. Ended up having to work. Didn't message me for 2 days and he couldn't show up. But anyways, saw the doctor. Everything seemed peachy dandy there. We met the ditz that works there. She seemed pretty cool, actually, other than the fact that she's definitely a ditz. No way that somebody says, oh, the train gets in at 10:10. Oh, would you like your appointment at 10:15 then? Excuse me?
No, it's 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Would you like your... Well, no, the first one was 10:15. And it's like, how can I get there in 5 minutes from over 2.5 miles away? Oh, so you want it at 9 o'clock then? If I can't make it in 5 minutes, how am I going to make it in negative an hour? I can't turn time back as I walk. So we finally got a proper appointment, and we went to that. Almost was late to the appointment. We got lost going around the streets there.
We got dropped off at the clinic. We ran in, went up to the right floor, told my cousin where we were going to be.
And the doctor was half an hour late, which was rather unprofessional, seeing that they said, we are going to take into consideration that you are coming from a long distance away and going to have to catch a train to catch out of there at the same night because you can't afford a hotel. So the doctor's half an hour late? Wait, if you know that the person that you're about to see barely has time to see you, you don't schedule an appointment beforehand. You say, excuse me, I need to make sure that I'm there on time, even though we have an opening. I'm just going to take a 45-minute break after my last patient, and then I'll see them. Make sure that you can see them. All right? That was a major mistake. But anyways, we ended up seeing her, and we had to kind of force ourselves away from her because we had to get to the doctor, or to the train station. And we managed to get to the train station with 3 minutes to spare by the time we climbed on the train. It was like 7 minutes when we got there. By the time we ran through the station, ran down the platform, climbed on the train, they were just getting ready to close the doors. Seriously, it was skin of the teeth
Don't
to get there.
forget the problem we had 2 hours later, 2 hours and 30 minutes later.
Yeah, the woman who gets on with
the email.
Oh, yeah. We got an email while we were on that there was something wrong with our ticket. So we tried to call, but they were busy. And dead zones everywhere, and so we had the conductor do it. Conductor comes back and says, oh, they didn't scan your ticket. So we went ahead and handled it, and everything's good.
Took a nap.
Anyways, we were... also around that time, there's a woman who gets on the train who's got 9 bags. 9! And they piled them all into the lower car because they couldn't carry them up the stairs and there was no other baggage anywhere. So everybody's sitting there all freaking cramped because of this woman's bags, and she's going halfway across the country.
Oh, don't forget, I found out where she was going has a checked baggage thing, but she didn't want to check baggage. So what
she said is the place she was going didn't have checked baggage, so she couldn't check it.
And they still charged her for it on the train anyways. It was like $50.
She might as well just checked it. And this was hilarious. Woman was probably about 300 pounds, maybe, roughly. And I don't make fun of fat people. Look at me. I'm fat. I'm a chubster, okay? Now, this woman was fat, okay? Now, she's sitting in the back of the train, and this is where I take offense. She's like, and you'll say, some of you out there will say, don't judge her, you don't know her. I know her enough. Even though I never met her.
till
she
that
sits
day.
there and she's talking and talking to this woman next to her, and she's like, well, my mother is only about 100 pounds, and my sister's about 100 pounds, and they just have really good genetics because they eat so much. But me, I try to diet, and I work out, and I go to the gym all the time, and I don't eat much. Crunch, 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 whole time eating chips and cookies and stuff. Half an hour out of the station, by the way, she's eating like half a bag of chips and a half a package of cookies.
Don't forget, like, several bottles of water.
Yeah, and several bottles of water and soda and stuff. She
And
had
she
two
had a
energy
portable
drinks. She
cooler.
also had 2 energy drinks in half an hour. Anyways, just about the time she's finishing crying about her weight and how she can't keep her weight down, and she tries so hard, the conductor comes through and says, well, they're getting ready to serve dinner. Anybody in here want...
Actually, there was no dining car.
I know.
he's
So,
like, "Do you want
anyways,
us to
he's like,
bring-"
does anybody want anything for dinner? And he ends up bringing down a menu, and some people are looking at it, and she's hands them like $40, whatever. I don't know.
Each meal.
She handed him cash, and she says, bring me 4 cheeseburgers, 4 hot dogs, and I want 2 cans of soda. Wait, you're just sitting there talking about how you can't lose weight and you don't understand why you're so large and huge, and you order 4 hamburgers and 4 hot dogs. Let's just put it this way. The old lady behind me ordered a hot dog, 1. Her husband ordered a hamburger, 1.
And they got a
And
soda,
her
too.
husband was fat. Now, the guy behind me, it might very well have been genetics because he did not overeat. In fact, me and Rita ate nothing. The woman behind us, she was scrawny as a rail, and she was only eating 1 hot dog. But this woman eats 4 hamburgers and 4 hot dogs, and she's complaining about her weight. Anyways, if you want to say that I don't know her, I listen to her bitch and moaning, gripe and complain about how she does all this stuff to try to lose weight and it can't be done. And I watched her essentially inhale an entire football stadium worth of food. Okay? So, yeah. I could say that I knew her in that regard.
But then when we did get into Spokane again, we got. I went. I had to go to the ticket agent, and they found out our tickets was canceled.
Yep, that was real fun. So then we ended up having them try to contact them because I'm like, come on, I'm just so tired. We've been riding for almost 20 hours. This is a big mess. I can't deal with this right now. And they said, oh, we'll call for you. I figure, of course, they're Amtrak. They can call straight through. They don't have to sit there and wait through Julie and be told, would you like to speak to Julie? No, I don't. Can I have an agent? Well, Julie can help you, agent. Julie knows many. Agent! Are you sure you want an agent? Agent! Finally, we get a hold of the agent after telling them like 4 or 5 times, give me the damn agent. And so it's like, I can't deal with this right now. Just fix the problem. So they fixed the problem, gave us 2 tickets, and we were able to get our train home. And, you know,
And then being polite just to see, I asked the security guard about bathrooms. And I'm sitting there, and I forgot to tell you the other part, but I'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Anyways, I go to the bathroom. I go to the security guard and said, do you have a family bathroom? No. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, just use whatever gender you relate to.
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of bathroom issues, we're at this bar. So Rita has to go tingle. Nice, polite way of putting it. So she waddles up the stairs, goes to the bathroom. She's in the bathroom, and she's finishing up, gets out, washes her hands. As she's leaving, here comes this woman and this dude. French kissing, making out, pushing the door open. Who gives a damn who's in the way? Middle of the afternoon, mind you.
this was Safeway. No, that was Safeway, I
Oh,
told
it
you.
was a Safeway? Oh, okay. It was before we even left. I thought it was at the bar.
Mm-mm.
Anyways, it's a grocery store at night. And dude takes one look at Rita and says, hey, there's a dude bathroom. Well, excuse me? You are a man, and you are in the women's room. You're not transgender.
I was wearing a low-cut shirt. My boobs were showing. And
So Rita just walks out. Apparently management doesn't care too much. And as soon as Rita walks out,
I said I'm going to report them to the manager.
Yeah, and then they basically looked at each other and said, well, let's go in there anyways. And then they walked into the women's room. They were going in there to make out. They figured they'd have some privacy. Jeez, well, come on, how sexy is a grocery store to make out in?
Anyway,
And especially a grocery store bathroom. Who knows what's been done?
When I was in the pub, I'm coming out. Right?
Oh, that's where you had the woman that's...
standing there waiting for the wheelchair accessible stall. And she looks at me and she goes, whoa, that is cool. And I'm like, okay, and I walked out, you know.
So anyways, we managed to get home. Oh, wait, train ride back. We get on the train. Rita's getting ready. I'm listening to this guy on his phone conversation. And he's talking about poisoning his friend. How it'd be fun to do so. That his friend likes crack and that he could lace his crack with rat poison. And his friend will smoke it anyways and it won't make a difference. And he's like, I could see him dying soon, blah, blah, blah. And
talking about getting his gun.
he's like, the guy's so queer I should just beat the hell out of him. And so I kind of whisper to Rita, don't make any eye contact with that guy. Don't look at him. Don't let him see you. Just hurry up, sit down, and stay out of his way.
And I did.
And then the guy's sitting there. He's like, yeah, I got some pills on me. I got this on me. I got that on me. I'm going to pick up my guns while I'm there because I want to take them home. And the guy was talking like a thug. He's sitting there like, yo, mother... he's swearing. And then he's talking about how this woman got upset for him swearing. He's like, I didn't know you couldn't swear on a train. And he says, woman was complaining about me. Well, at least I got even with her. She was sleeping with her kid, and I was taking pictures of her ass crack. And it's like, okay, that's wonderful. And he's like, then there's this girl who sat next to me, and she told me not to talk to her and leave her alone. And I don't know why she wasn't interested in me. Wait, hold on. You're a vulgar drug thug who's complaining about your health and has to pop like 100 pills.
Oh, don't forget, the conductor walks in.
And the conductor walks in and says, hey, off the phone or go stand out there. And he's like, oh, I gotta go. So, anyways, then I caught him picking his butt and he was picking his nose. I actually saw him at one point jerking off on the train. He had his hands in his pants and you could see his arm moving back and forth. And it's like, all right, this is gross. And
what about all the drugs in Spokane?
Yeah, and then I forgot to mention on our way back in Spokane, I walked into the bathroom to see a guy shooting up, and he looks at me, he's like, he just turns around like I won't see the needle. I already saw the needle, dude. Might as well just continue doing what you were doing. Then there's these three guys that walked in together, and they were in there for maybe a minute, minute and a half, and I could hear them going... And then they just walked out in the line, their eyes all... And I knew they just did coke. And constantly, just homeless people and drug users going in and out and in and out and in and out of the men's room. Swear the door was opening and slamming every 30 seconds to minute. The women's room was pretty much empty.
Yeah.
It's like no one was using that. But for some reason, it was homeless men's night at the Spokane train station. And drug user night. None of these people were there to actually ride the train. That's what's the worst part. Spokane really needs to do something about their drug problem in the bathroom at the train station. In fact, I don't understand why the Spokane police don't have their booth open all night long, seeing that they got a homeless problem that hangs out there and sleeps there, and they got a problem also with drug use there. The two guys that they had working there couldn't have dealt with any of those punks. Even the homeless that looked frail. I mean, you had one guy who was out of shape and fat, who probably could have held his own against quite a few of them. The other one was like 80 years old. I'm sorry, an 80-year-old man and a guy who's had probably 18 dozen boxes too many donuts a week for his whole life. Probably shouldn't be your only security when you have a drug problem and you have a homeless problem infiltrating the entire train station. That's where you end up saying, we need some people who can actually bounce these effers out of here. And yeah, you know, I feel bad for the homeless people. They need a place to go. They need a place to sleep. The train station isn't it. I feel bad that these drug people have a problem with drugs. I've been there. I know what it's like. But come on, you've got to keep them out of the bathroom where people are trying to rest and recuperate at night, waiting for the next train that they got to wait 2.5, 3 hours for, 4 hours for during a layover. They have a right to relax peacefully without all these people coming in and out.
So, anyways, and so we got home, we relaxed. I sent some messages out to the doctors. They were all ditzy idiots, in my opinion. And then today, they were basically, and I'll get to that because I'm not going to give you details of what happened.
Let's just basically say that Rita wants her chin done, and they just wanted to put a filler in her chin right here so that her, you know, the cleft is gone. And the filler would last 1 year to 2 years. And it's like, wait, why do we want to do a filler? She wants the cleft chin gone.
Grind it down, baby.
They want to do the brow ridge, which they said they could probably build.
No, we're not going into full details.
Anyways, they were going to go and do that. However, they wouldn't do anything with the eyes or neck because that's considered cosmetic and facial lift rather than functionality. Apparently, they can bill for functional work, but they can't bill for non-functional. And so the eyes and the throat were non-functional. So, anyways, we're trying to figure out whether we're going to go back and do that and all that. There's some other issues playing about of whether we'll go back or not. So,
well, let me put it to you this way, okay? And I'm not going into the issues. That's not your guys' business because I haven't done a video in a while for y'all. But here's the deal. When I emailed today, Aaron says you need to let them know because we have other options to go to another doctor. What do I say? I say it. I get information of all this crap, and then the email says, by the way, the doctor talked to me today, the financial aid department, and told me you need a second consult. They didn't tell us this before we damn boarded the train.
The second consult. See, they should have told us this before we set up the appointment. You're going to need 2 consultations. The first one is to take measurements. The second one is to look at a 3D rendered image. They also should have told us beforehand you're going to need a CAT scan. So prepare to have at least 3 appointments down here before you end up having your surgery, which will be a 4th appointment. We could try to get the CAT scan, second consultation, and surgery all together, though. So luckily, we might be able to conserve it all into 2 total trips.
But here's the thing: the doctor emails me and says, "Okay, no problem." But when I asked the one lady, the secretary, the ditz, she's like, "Oh, I need to ask the doctor and the schedule." The doctor says, "Oh, you need to talk to this person, the financial aid lady." The financial aid lady says we need to set up a schedule, but you need to schedule the second consult. I asked the doctor and assistant, or the secretary, let's schedule a second consult. I don't know when. Well, when the doctor's going to call you first? Well, when? It could be tomorrow, could be 2 months from now. Just be patient. It's like the left hand ain't talking to the right.
Yeah, it's very confusing, but, you know.
And then Aaron spoke today on my behalf of the billing.
If you're looking to have facial surgery and you think it's medically necessary, they will find ways to say this part and that part are still considered cosmetic because it's not listed as a feminizing surgery. It's listed as a rejuvenation surgery. No matter how you look at it, you could be feminized and still look old. So things like your turkey waddle, this would be considered cosmetic to stretch it out. Under the eye, getting rid of wrinkles, that's all cosmetic. So even though you think your wrinkles are masculine and you don't like them, and you think, oh, I look like a crusty old man, they'll sit there and say, well, we could do this. So by the time you're done, you look like a feminine crusty old man. I'm still crusty, but I have eyebrows and a chin. I can see it, but there's this. The thing is, they won't fix everything. You're not going to end up looking like the 14-year-old high school girl that you had such a crush on. You're gonna that you really wish you could be because she turned you down. You're still going to end up looking essentially like yourself with some feminine features. I mean, if you think that they can take you and turn you into Nicki Minaj, just look at
Caitlyn Jenner.
just look at Caitlyn Jenner. Jenner has several $1 million, and what they could make her look like was somebody who's been hit in the face with a brick 15 times and run over by a car. I'm sorry, she's not feminine in any manner with
That's
her
what
face.
the doctor said.
She
too.
looks like she's been used as a doormat for the last 20 years. Excuse me, oh, I see you got the Jenner model doormat. Let me wipe my feet on it. I am Jenner. Oh, sorry about that.
The surgeon was talking about Jenner, and we won't go into details, but
They didn't get to actually really talk about it. And they started to and said, oop, we don't have time for that. So,
yeah, and so I got to go back to a second consult, which now they're not trying. They're like, well,
and trust me, I'm not putting Jenner down. I'm not putting trans people down. I'm just having fun making this humorous because maybe you'll pay attention. Because what was it that we heard about recently? Some guy named Buckwheat or something that was on that one forum group, and Blackburn, Buckwheat, bitch cake, whatever. Anyways, they're a female to male who's so stupid that they're sitting there saying FFS means female facial surgery. No, it doesn't. It means facial feminization surgery. You do not need it. Unless you still want to be the girl that you were. You want to end up being a man, you need what's called facial masculinization surgery, which does not exist. Why does it not exist? Because most female to males actually can pull off being male very easily. In fact, I saw one when we were down in where we were, and they looked like they were probably a 14 or 15-year-old boy. They were probably about 25, 30, but they still looked like a 14 or 15-year-old boy.
And then the douchebag he's talking about, the female and the male, and I'm going to call him a douchebag.
You didn't even notice them until I was talking about them later, and it's like, oh, I think I saw them.
Oh,
But they got on an elevator and went downstairs. But the
I
thing
thought you were
is,
talking about that one in that forum.
oh, that one.
That douche, because you said FFS, female
Yeah,
facial.
that
Who knows? Who,
bitch cap. Or
Yeah,
whatever her
anyways.
name is.
Basically, they said something.
Brokeback?
Anyways, they were talking about it. I'm like, dude, there's no billing codes for it. A lot of people back me, but there's a few douchebags and douche waffles out there.
Yeah, and there's so many that are like, I'll commit suicide. They have to do it. It's law that they do it. It is not law they give you a facelift. I'm sorry.
Did you know the doctor and we did bring that up to her, and the doctor said,
It's not
Yeah, you
law
can
that
go
they do
kill-
liposuction in your throat because you happen to have like a fat patch like I have right here. You can see it. Big old fat patch. Now I got a double chin. Whatever. It doesn't really... Well, there. Yeah, it shows. Anyways, that is cosmetic. This is not... If you're fat and you're like, oh yes, I'm going to be so cute and attractive, they will not get rid of your fat. Alright? They're not going to go and say, oh, your eye bags are sagging, your face is sagging, your jowls are sagging. Why don't we just pull it all up and make you look like this? Oh my God, I got Botox!
Jack Nicholson? The Joker?
No, the one I think of was, what was it called? No, it wasn't Life. Holy Man. Holy Man with Eddie Murphy. Great movie. He's ending up selling this product. It was like Joan Rivers or somebody who was testing it. And it's like these little electroshock things. And she's like, it's not going to do that to you. They don't cover that. What they will cover is what would end up being female appropriate. Like your brow ridge is too thick. All right, we could shave that down. But it doesn't mean that we might be able to lift your eyebrow just a little bit because we're working in the eye at the section, so all we have to do is tighten the skin just a little bit more when we pull it up, because they got pretty much pull your face down to shave up there. Yeah, your face will be pulled off. Okay? and then they will zip it back up, basically. And when they do, they'll make sure to pull it so that the eyebrows have a little more slant to it. Also, when they're shaving the eyebrow bone, they'll do that. But mostly what they do with is eyebrow bone. Nose they won't usually touch unless...
It's cosmetic.
I mean, maybe if you have a giant white ass, like, nose that just takes up half your face, they might say, there's no way this is going to work as feminine. We might be able to get that covered, but they're going to have to remove off like 3 noses to make 1 nose. That would make sense, okay? They might end up saying your cheek definition is too thick, and they might shave down your cheeks and pull them up just a little bit because they're in the wrong position. But the type of work that they're going to do is not soft tissue for the most part. That's what they call functional versus non-functional. And so bone work is usually classified as functional, whereas skin tightening and pulling this skin here and that skin there and lifting this skin and removing some fat pockets from here and there is all considered cosmetic. And so there are parts of facial feminization surgery that will be classified as cosmetic no matter what, until they say it's not considered cosmetic anymore. But the only way they can say it's not cosmetic anymore is to basically say that people who are not transgendered qualify for the surgery because it's a necessity. And so you're not going to get something that a genetic woman can't get covered either. So until genetic women can get facelifts covered, you're not going to get a facelift covered.
Service dogs aren't supposed to pull.
Oh yes, forgot all about that. And if Amtrak watches this, dear Mr. Mike, I think it was Mike S.
Mike D.
Mike D, okay.
Out of Spokane.
Running on the Spokane train.
Spokane to Seattle.
Yes. He comes out to do the tickets, and we're first in line. And he walks around the counter, and he starts kind of slowly following this guy. Menacingly. And Moppy kind of gets scared of him when he's looking at him, and he gets closer and closer. And Moppy tries to run to pull me away from him.
But he actually went to the other side of the counter, too, so he did it twice.
So he tried to pull me away from this guy, saying, this guy's trouble. He's up to something. I don't know what's wrong. That was being a service dog.
Look, he's typing on the keyboard.
So anyways, we come back around. He comes back around the counter, and he's like, service dogs aren't supposed to pull. He's not a service dog. And I said, he's ridden this whole trip with us so far. He is a service dog. We're going home. So he let us board the train anyways, but he caused that situation in which my dog went into defense mode by trying to remove me from the scary man. Okay? So my dog was actually acting within the right. He is not a seeing eye dog. Seeing eye dogs are trained to sit still until they are needed. So unless their master is walking, a seeing eye dog must sit. He's not a seeing eye dog. He's a seizure dog, which means he doesn't necessarily have to sit.
Don't forget
until
what
I
happened.
move.
Mike D walks downstairs where we're leaving Ephrata. And he's looking at his watch. He looks at
my dog's just laying at my
He looks
feet.
at Frank. Then he looks at me. He looks down at Moppy. Moppy's laying there sleeping on the floor like, let us get off this train as soon as possible.
He knew we were getting ready to get off the train, but he decided he was going to sleep on my feet until we got stopped. You know, that's what a service dog's supposed to do for the most part. But Mike wasn't able to harass him at that time. So he saw Moppy being the proper service dog instead of, Daddy, there's a problem with creepy guys stalking us. Let's go. This is bad. Yeah, he caused that. And then he wanted to tell me my dog wasn't a service dog because he stalked me. You know, you don't prowl like that and antagonize a service dog on purpose. In fact, it's against law.
So, I will finish up, I think, unless Aaron has something to say. I'm giving you that, so if you want to reply, you have a choice now to reply.
I don't have anything to say right
now. I
now.
would.
Well, I'll think about it afterwards. Not right
now. So, anyways, So last week, I don't know if I told you, I got a bill for $50 for the anesthesiologist. I was happy. Then I get a bill today for $2,000, $994 each. It was $1,988 for the implants. This is what these babies cost. It was almost $2,000. Hey, not on camera, Aaron. So anyways, so
she likes it.
anyway, so I got that. Tomorrow I gotta do what I gotta do, since this is an update for you all, is I gotta take care of.
Ooh, those look good. 2
Uh,
boxes for $50 of those? I'd do it.
Anyway, so what happened is we got most of the stuff done today. Phone calls to the doctors. I'm trying to schedule another trip out, see my cousin, and go to this appointment because they can do surgery. But the right hand ain't talking to the left. So tomorrow,
Yeah.
I'm going to be calling up the surgeon's office, or if it's not the surgeon, the billing office, to let them know that I'm going to
Anyways,
be
if you were
appealing.
wondering, I was just wondering what $26,000 feels like, that's all.
And your opinion?
Feels pretty real.
So, anyway, so what happened is I'm going to be calling tomorrow the surgeons or the billing department and talking to them, telling them we've got 5 appeals, we're going to appeal it. We have 5 levels of appeal once we get our statement from the insurance. So anyways, that's what we have to do with the other surgeries. Apparently, and Aaron, since he explained all the surgeries, and this is going to be probably my one weekly address for this week, you forgot to mention something. The insurance part. Why they don't put in cosmetic with...
Oh, yes. And if you think that maybe you could get your doctor to go ahead and bill the soft tissue stuff so that you can pay it off later because you're not allowed to have a certain amount of money on you to pay this stuff up front, you're wrong. Because what it will end up happening is that they attempt to bill the soft tissue stuff. Medicare and other insurance companies have a tendency to say, the whole thing's cosmetic. Because one cosmetic procedure was thrown in. So they try to avoid putting any cosmetic procedures
bone work done only.
So they said if you want to do that, we can always have you come back and we can attempt to bill it as a solo and see if it'll work. But, hey, at least it's possible to possibly have it done.
Am I tunneling?
Mildly, but not much.
I'll fix it real quick. Anyways, so we found that out today, and it was...
Oh, so anyways, news for today. We've been complaining for about 1.5 years about this air conditioner. It's just sitting there going,
Let's see if it actually can do it real quick, just to see.
There, maybe you can hear it in the background. It's just humming. It's not even on. It's turned off, and yet the motor's still running. Anyways, we tried to tell the management about this every time the manager came, about 24 times. I hear nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. Well, it was just doing it. Comes back. Was just doing it. Well, anyways, like 1.5 years of complaining about this. She comes in and plugs it in. She finally hears it. And she's like, oh, this needs to be replaced. It should have been replaced when it started. Anyways, it had ice chunks in it the other day, and they've decided they're just going to go ahead and replace it. So she's finally getting a new air conditioner. That's
right there, half the grill's ice.
it's already icing over. But we were told to go ahead and use it because it's okay to use. It's not going to catch on fire.
We hope. If the motor freezes up in there, who knows? You know what I don't like about the air conditioner being funny for a second, since you brought it up? You got the metal housing where it sits in. You got the air conditioner, the plastic, and the little motor. The rest of it is all styrofoam in the inside. Which, when you look through the little vents to see how you clean the slats, you'll see nothing but not cardboard, styrofoam in it.
Yeah, it's loaded with styrofoam. Or at least what looks like styrofoam.
It's actually styrofoam.
And then I had to complain about my neighbor today. He's been out of town for 2-3 weeks. So, the whole time I've been sleeping so good. I've been going to bed at like midnight, getting up 9 o'clock, feeling refreshed. Well, what happens? He comes in, and about midnight last night, I hear him turn on his TV, and it's pretty loud, and I figure, I'm going to be up a little while, no big deal. So I go to bed about 12:30. That TV's going until 2:30, and I'm listening to some, like, I don't even know what it was. It sounded like some talk show, but it was all in Spanish. There's lots of giggling and laughing and girls screaming and stuff. Heck, it could have been a porno for all I know. All I know is it was in Spanish, and it sounded like a news show, but it also had a lot of giggling and laughing and like music going on.
I do want to say, so you don't.
Which sounds like a Mexican talk show.
Yeah, just so you know, so you don't think I am putting the guy down and think he's perverted. He's left his window open while jacking off in the mirror in his bathroom.
He also walks around his apartment naked with the window open. But besides the point. This morning, about 4:30 in the morning, he goes outside and he starts smacking the fence with something. He smacks it about 4 times, noise stops. I'm like, okay, thank goodness. Then I wake up hearing it again. It's only like 4:45. It's like, I'm like, hey, knock it off, quiet down there. And I hear him grump downstairs. About 5:15, I hear the fence again. I'm like, geez, let somebody sleep. And I hear a grump again. About 5:45, I hear the fence again. And I'm like, I'm going to have to take this to the management. So then about 6:15, he lets his dogs outside. And they're out there for about 15 minutes. And they got these little collars on so he can hear them because he can't see them because they're too short because he's got miniature pinchers and he can't look down at them. He walks with his head up in the air like. So he's got these little bell collars so he can hear them. But he doesn't put them on a leash. So they run all over the place and they're full of energy. Well, after about 15 minutes, he lets them in. About 15 minutes after that, he lets them out again for another 15 minutes. Then he lets them in, then he lets them out again. And it's like, wait, you're putting them in for like 15, 20 minutes at a time and letting them out again? You know that those bells are obnoxious, don't you? Take your dog for a walk out the front so that they don't irritate people. But no. Anyways, finally about 7 o'clock, I hear his door slam. And it's total silence until I wake up again about 11 o'clock. It was like 10 or 11.
11.
No, it was 10.
I called you.
No, it was 10. It was 10:14 that you ended up messaging me, so I was up by then. Anyways, I just had a horrible night trying to sleep because dude wouldn't let me sleep.
So,
from midnight till 2:30, and then 4:30 he starts up again. That's 2 hours of sleep.
So,
and I ended up telling the manager, I said, look, you say you can't enforce anything, but you're more than willing to end up taking away a reasonable accommodation that was granted to us because these take 2-3 hours to smoke, and we don't need to sit down there in the hot sun where there's no shade in the county property baking for that long. So we were said that we could smoke on our back porch. But we have an old man downstairs now who can't prove that he's got a lung problem, but says he has a lung problem and needs a lung transplant. But nobody wants to give him a lung transplant, so he's bitching and moaning, but only because his daughter couldn't feel Rita's boobs. And we know why he's doing it, because a year and a half we've been sitting out there, no complaints. All of a sudden, he starts complaining as soon as Rita tells her, no, you can't feel them.
They're personal.
So, anyways, it's... I said, you can enforce us to lose a reasonable accommodation, but you can't enforce anything with him because he has brain damage. I said, obviously he's not scared enough. He remembers when he's going to Yakima so he can get his Red Lobster and he saves up money for it. He remembers when his caretaker is coming so that he's up in time for her. He remembers what day the food bank is so he could be there bright and early. He remembers when rent is due. He remembers when, dude has a great memory for remembering what he wants to remember, but when he conveniently wants to forget, oh, no noise before 8 a.m., he plays, oh, brain damaged, and I can't remember. Wait, you can't remember no noise before 8 a.m.
But the F are in a nursing home.
So anyways, I said, well, the only thing is that he doesn't believe you're going to do anything to him. You're giving him no teeth. You're not threatening him in any manner in which he feels insecure enough to sit there and say, I better not do this because I might lose my apartment. If he had a fear that he could end up being evicted because he does this and continues doing it, he might stop doing it.
He even said that. The manager just didn't.
And she just sat there like playing with her face. And I'm like, do you have a toothache? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh, so we're so boring that you're sitting there like pushing on your gums.
Tapping your finger on
yeah,
the
she's sitting there like, and it was obvious she was disinterested, didn't care about Rita's air conditioner, didn't care about the guy making noise, didn't care about, and I tried to tell her, look, it is federal law that you, when there's an air conditioner or heater problem, that you start the repair within 24 hours. You must look at it. And she said on Friday night around 7 o'clock, which is when they always do the repairs, oh, we don't work weekends and we're busy right now. We'll get to it Monday. I said, well, you know, it wasn't too hot this weekend, so we decided to let it slide. But she needs to know for future reference that by law, she's got 24 hours to handle that. I know who it is.
So, yeah, and we told her this, and she just didn't care. And then finally she comes over, and she's shocked that the air conditioner's making the grinding noise.
And then we told her that we'll end up buying a new plate because the plate was frozen and it cracked when Rita tried to unplug it. And we said, oh, we'll just buy it because you're going to end up saying that we broke it anyways. Then you'll end up charging us for it, and it'll be like $15, $20 for an electrical plate, which would only cost about $1 if we bought it ourselves. I said, why don't we just go and buy it ourselves so you can cut out charging us $19 extra for a part that's $1. Because they have like a minimum amount that they can charge. So, I mean, we know good and well that with the light bulbs that they'll put in a $1 light bulb and charge the $10 and $7 for the light bulb. Wait, hold on. A $1 light bulb costs $7 if you do it, but if we do it, it's $1. Sorry, I'll just do it myself. I'm not that lazy. We have tenants that will not change their own light bulbs, so they end up getting charged for it. So,
well, my manager made a promise to me that she'll change my own light bulb and pay for the damn bulb herself.
The other
because my useless neighbors, before they moved, kept stealing my light bulb.
And here's another one, too. I complained about my light about a year ago because it's hanging sideways and touching the wall and touching the globe. And I said, can't you do anything about that to make it sit flat and have the bulb in the center? Oh, no, we can't fix that. It's broken beyond repair, and we'd have to replace the whole light, and it's good that way, so it'll work fine that way. Well, my light burned out. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm getting ready to put a new one in. There's cobwebs all over in there, and I'm like, I'm going to clean these cobwebs out. So I'm cleaning the cobwebs out. And I get a good look up inside, and I'm like, hey, there's a little clip up here, and there's a little metal clippy part. So I end up pushing the metal clippy part in, and guess what? The light stands straight. They supposedly looked at it twice and said they couldn't do anything about it, that it was broke that way, and I just have to live with it. And I fixed it in 2 minutes just by looking at it myself because I had to clean some cobwebs. Excuse me, did you even bother looking, or are you that incompetent?
Don't forget the other thing. The same guy that kept him up, for example.
It ruined your toilet twice.
The guy that...
And then the guy who came...
the guy that woke you up, the douchebag. When no one's looking, the lady across the way that lives there, he goes and steals their light bulbs.
Mm-hmm. And then the manager's so useless that her husband broke the toilet twice, and then they tried to blame Rita. And recently there was a contractor out here who was trying to work on the leak in the wall, and they took a look at Rita's toilet real quick and said this isn't going to hold up more than maybe 5 or 6 months. The guy is an idiot. He doesn't know what he does. But this is going to break again. So
they even told her
then there's a U-joint under the sink, and it just needs a little plumber's tape on there to hold tight, and they won't replace it. And every once in a while, Rita will drain her sink, and the water will end up hitting down there hard enough, it'll just pop the U-joint and flood everywhere. Well, Anyways, we got other things we need to do. We got to get your halfway point.
So, anyways,
and we talked to you guys for almost 50 minutes.
So
I've entertained you, I think.
So, anyways, like I said, I will keep you updated once I have a new surgery date. What's going on? I gotta answer my cousin's girlfriend in a bit, or Aaron does. But anyways, please stay tuned. Please add and subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestions. Thank you, and may God bless you in everything you do.